Hello everybody on YouTube, this is Super Nintendo and welcome back to the Temple of Time. Last time on Twilight Princess HD, we played hide and seek once again with Skull Kid, who led us into a never before seen area of the Sacred Grove. After jamming our Master Sword back into its pedestal, we found a door that led us back in time. After jamming our Master Sword into the past version of its pedestal, we opened up a stairway to the next dungeon. And Ooccoo and some little flying ball thing ran in there before us. This time, we're gonna go into the next dungeon. Welcome to the Temple of Time, or as I personally call it, the Temple of Light. Because if you notice, on this bell, there is the symbol of the Light Medallion from Ocarina of Time. I'll get more into why that is later, but yeah. It's pretty cool. Link, don't you think there's something odd about that statue? In the grove and in the temple entry, there were always matching ones on each side. But there's only one here. Why don't you use your senses to look around? Whatever you say, Master. I knew it. There was one more here originally. We need to find the other statue in this temple that matches this one. Alright. Now that we have our objective, so to speak anyway, we can head on forward. Let's go. I'm gonna put the spinner right there. There's Ooccoo. But we're gonna ignore him for the time being to light these torches. And here we have a small key. Alright, now let's go see what Ooccoo wants. Not so fast. At last, this is it. This is where I've been trying to get to. The ancient technology of our people sleeps in this place. We've searched all over, and now we're so close, I can smell it. Once we find that thing, we can go home at last. Oh, gracious, yes. Young man, we're so close, so please help us find what we're looking for. You've reunited with Ooccoo. Alright, so since we're not going to have another chance to show this because I've just been so good at playing video games lately. Oh, did you want to leave? I can warp you out, right? I can warp you right out. You can return here, so there will be no worries. Hakuna Matata. Yes, yes. Now, leave it to me. Ugh. Let me introduce you. This is Ooccoo Jr. Anytime you want to warp back to this spot, just ask him. I want you to meet him at. If you want to meet me at the entrance rather than warping here, just go there and I'll meet you. Now, bon voyage, you two. Wait a second. You warped us not only out of the dungeon, but back to the future? You're a time-traveling wizard. Also, the fact that you can teleport kind of makes me wonder why you can't just get back to the place you want to go to, but whatever. So, we have more health than I expected. So that's basically what happens. You got it, Mama, here we come! Well, welcome back. Without further ado, we're off. Yeah, so that's basically Ooccoo in a nutshell. That is her thing. And yeah, it's really not all that useful. I don't use her unless I'm getting tired and I just want to go to sleep or whatever, but I'm still like in the middle of a dungeon or something. That's really the only reason I ever use Ooccoo. So, yeah. I mean, it is cool that they have a feature like that, but most Zelda games have a feature like that. But getting back into enemies, that was a new enemy, the young Garma. Not Goma, it's a Garma. So, yeah, pretty cool. It's a giant spider-like enemy, and I know that lots of people have arachnophobia. Well, too bad for them. And here we have 30 arrows, which we didn't even need because we already had full arrows. Man, you gotta love the mortal draw. It just makes fighting enemies so much easier. Speaking of which, I love how it one-shots a good chunk of the enemies in the game. But it can't one-shot everything. But even so, we have a new enemy, the Armos Knight. Ow. They are impervious to attack unless you attack the gem on their butt. And then they go nuts because you just basically blew up their heart. How dare we do such a thing? Honestly, they're annoying. They're annoying as heck because of the fact that they are impervious to damage unless you hit them in their back. We open that chest to get 20 rupees, and here we have statues that resemble the Hoi pears from Wind Waker. So from now on, I'm going to be calling these things the Hoi statues. Hoi! I don't know why Link treats these things as though they are super duper heavy. I mean, I don't think they're that heavy. I don't think they would be that heavy. And here we got the dungeon map. We'll just ignore that keys there. And here we have a new enemy. Those are baby Garma. And that's another new enemy, the white Beamos. Basically the same as a normal Beamos, except it has a slightly different design. So, that's enough to call it a new enemy, I guess. Whoa, I didn't see you there, buddy. and you die. And there we got 2 more. Seriously, the Mortal Draw is probably my favorite of the sword skills our ancestor taught us. It's really freaking cool. And here we have some tracks built for the spinner, which I don't really understand why they're here. Before we go on ahead, let's go downward with this giant elevator thingy. Sorry, I didn't know if you could hear that. There was a big beat-up truck outside that was driving very slowly. Must have been being driven by an agent. Yeah. I said an offensive joke thing. That makes me funny. Okay, I get it. We got a Poe in there that we can't do anything with until later. Alright, let's grab this Hoi. The Hoi statue. And try to come up here. There we go. And in here we have 2 more Beamos Knights. Speaking of Knights, I have never played any of the Knights games. Are they any good? I mean, my experience with the Knights series is pretty much just his little cameo in Sonic Adventure 1. Ow. Oh yeah, I'm playing in hero mode. There are no hearts that drop. I forgot. Here we got a small key. Alright. Let's head off to the next area. Aria. In here we have a returning element from the 2D Zelda games, the color switch. I don't understand why these things haven't shown up in other Zelda games. I mean, I love the color switch. It grants really good possibilities for puzzles. You never see them all that much in 3D Zelda games. I mean, they're not in Breath of the Wild. I think they're in Skyward Sword, but only... Well, they're kind of in Skyward Sword with the time shift stones. But, yeah. We got ourselves the compass. Yeah. There dancing. Yeah, we got more arrows, so that's good. And another Lizalfos. There, we got an armored Lizalfos. Huh. We haven't seen too many of those. Not too many of the armored Lizalfos. But we have seen a whole lot of the normal ones. But here we have a new enemy, the Dinalfos. Pretty much just an even stronger version of the armored Lizalfos. They're actually really annoying enemies. Believe it or not, I just got lucky there that I got a really stupid one. They're annoying because of the fact that they have a shield, so they can block most of your sword attacks. And they do slightly learn a little bit with your different sword abilities. Also, they can attack you with their tail. So it's a little annoying. The best strategy, if you got one that is blocking everything you got, is to just keep doing the shield attack, and eventually it'll get through, and then you can do the helm splitter. And basically just rinse and repeat. Oh man, this chair is riding up my butt. I need to get a more padded chair for recordings. And here we have a room filled with baby Garmas. They are annoying because they do not stand still. They don't really go after you. They just kind of run. I mean, they'll come after you if you're just standing still, but how often are you going to stand still? Oh, whoa. You know, the Garma are one of the few enemies that actually kind of squirt stuff out when you hit them. Maybe they're actually bleeding? You know, I would like to see a Zelda game where Link actually gets more beat up as you take damage. That'd be interesting. Or, not interesting, but it would be cool, you know? Actually, to talk a little bit about things that made it into later Zelda games for a second, that running animation that Link does when at the beginning of the game, when he is trying to go after the thundering horde that knocked him out and took Aaliyah and Colin, that is actually the very same running animation that Link uses in Skyward Sword when he is using his dash. So it's pretty cool that animation made it into Skyward Sword. You know, it's one animation as opposed to, 1,000 that are being reused in Pokemon Sword and Shield? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Pokemon Sword and Shield, the way it's looking anyway. At the time of this recording, it is not out yet, but yeah, it is honestly looking really, really lazy. Not bad, but just, it doesn't look like it belongs on the Switch, you know? I mean, this game doesn't really look like it belongs on the Wii U, but at least it is a remaster from a GameCube game. So, like, this game gets a little bit of slack. Like, Pokemon Sword and Shield being the first main series Pokemon game from... I mean, I guess Let's Go also, but Let's Go also looks like it belongs on the 3DS, not on the freaking Switch. Also, the whole thing of like, oh, we're not going to include the national decks because we're focusing on, like, high quality animations. Yeah, that's a flat out lie. I mean, I know I don't really have much room to talk considering I'm not really a Pokemon guy, but seriously, Pokemon is just kind of Game Freak or Nintendo or whoever is making Sword and Shield. They better get their crap together. And no, the animations in the final game are not gonna look much better after what, 4 months of development. Like, they can, in that amount of time, they can fix like textures and make the game look a bit more polished in the case of like the lighting systems and the textures and whatnot. They're not gonna add in new animations for all the Pokemon that are in that game, which I'm assuming have like at least 150, if not more. You know. But enough talking about Pokemon. Let's drink up. And then let's go inside. And here we have a new enemy, the Darknut. Basically what you want to do is chip off their armor one piece at a time. Watch out for their big freaking sword because it does a crap ton of damage. It's best to use the sword skills that the hero Shade taught us. After you peeled off his armor, he will ditch his giant sword and shield and be much more mobile. He also switches to a smaller sword that doesn't do as much damage, but it is much faster and a bit harder to read. And there you go. Here we got the Dominion Rod. This amazing rod can infuse ancient statues with life. Hold it with the assign buttons, aim with the L stick, and use it to give light and life to statues. A statue brought to life will move like its master. Alright, so next time on The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, we see what we can do with this Dominion Rod here, aside from playing catch with ourselves. Because our daddy wasn't there. See you guys then.